it's quite surprising, but we'll leave that for now. But yeah, James Brown, sort of problematic, difficult, interesting, wild. Just, I'm glad I saw him. I'm really, really pleased that's something I experienced. And he was not a young man, but he was 73 when he died, and it was still a fantastic show. The hype man came out. He did the whole, like breaking down and like having the blanket put over his shoulders and being led off, throwing them. It gave you everything you wanted from a James Brown performance, and I'm thoroughly grateful I experienced that.
Yeah, I think you have to give people their dues, don't you? You have to be able to go, he did all of those things. He was that. He was an incredible force of nature. He did some awful things, and that's the whole story. And you have to look at the whole story and decide whether you can deal with that or not. I think. But I think it's brilliant, and I think that the pace of it, the structure of that film is excellent. Yeah.
It's also much more interesting when films like this or biographies aren't what's the word, a hagiography, which isn't a word I knew before I started this podcast with Dr. Sam, who's all clever and got a PhD and stuff. But do you know what I mean by hagiography?
Hagiography.
I don't know I think it's hagiography. But it's when you make a film or a biopic or write a biography or whatever, and you always place the subject in a position of being godlike.
Yeah,
so
cool.
You don't look at the bad things, you only talk about the good things, and it's a bit of an overly congratulatory kind of thing. And those kind of biopics are just boring.
Yeah.
I think that they're just nothing to
them. There was a Jimi Hendrix one. I think it was Andre. Is it Andre 3000? How many thousands is he? 2,000.
I'm gonna have to pause you on that, and you'll find out why in a little while.
Right, but he did a Jimi Hendrix biopic, and it was an amazing Jimi Hendrix impression, right? Which is really important because you want to be able to go, like with Chadwick Boseman, you go, that's James Brown. I believe that's James Brown entirely throughout the entire film. And with him, he did Jimi Hendrix, and it was like, he's become Jimi Hendrix. This is incredible. And he did some awful things as well. But they didn't balance it out with the genius of his creations because they couldn't get copyright for his music.